Hello and welcome to this webinar. If you have joined us this evening, you are very interested in learning how to begin creating your own online course. And what we are going to be able to offer you this evening are the 4 key shifts in order to support you in being able to accomplish that. So just to get us started, my name is Jennifer Santoro, also known as Coach J, and I'm joined by the one and only Dottie Berry, who's also known as Coach B, for this educator entrepreneur program that we offer. We are both extremely passionate about entrepreneurship, and what brought us together is the value system that we believe that entrepreneurs are who are going to bring the changes to the world that we want to see. And the other value system that brought us together is that we have a high value of freedom. And what that is about the freedom to live the lives that we feel called to live, that we feel we are put on this earth to live. And what we really want to do is empower anyone and everyone who shares that value in being able to do the same. So Dottie, why don't you join in and tell everybody a little bit about yourself and why this value of freedom is so important to you?
Well, I think, Jen, that ever since I left the University of Kentucky coaching women's basketball in 1983, I've just never looked back. And freedom and flexibility and having the funds to really live my life the way I want to on my terms has just been a real priority for me. And one of the things we want to offer for you all is the ability to live your freedom in such a way that it opens up this space so that you can be creative. Because I don't know about you, but there's been times in my life I was so choked, I was so choked with the finances as I was making some changes that sometimes it impacted my creative ability. Just to give you a quick story, it was about, 2002 when I moved 3,000 miles from Lexington, Kentucky to Blaine, Washington, 5 minutes from the Canadian border. And I did that for love. Well, how many of you have ever done something like that where, love can make you really passionate, right? So I moved all this way, and then I'm sitting there looking at myself in the mirror, I don't know, probably 8 years ago when I started online marketing, and I was doing something like this. Now, okay, this is just really crazy, but this is what I was doing. I was looking in the mirror going, "Who are you?" Seriously, I was like, oh my gosh, where do I go? What do I do to learn this online marketing? And honestly, I felt so overwhelmed. People always ask me now, because I've been around a while and have developed some skills, and they say, well, you didn't feel overwhelmed, did you? I said, are you kidding me? I felt so overwhelmed at times that I literally cried at my computer. In fact, I use that as one of the criteria for if you've never cried at your computer, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, then you're really not an online marketer because it is going to make you want to pull your hair out sometimes. And I don't know, I just always thought, wow, what if we could help people really step through that space to become more empowered and to have that freedom like we have? Because I know that support, there's nothing like it. So Jen, back to you, just kind of a quick story on how it affected me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I this is where we really share a story together. I have had my moment of crying at the computer. I was working in the marketing field for majority of my career, and there was a day where I felt the 4 walls close in on me because it wasn't enough. And as passionate as I am about marketing, and as much as I believe in marketing, and the mere fact that if you have a message that you want to share out to the world, it's the only way to do it, right? That is, marketing is so key to the success of any business. However, though, I felt like I wasn't completely fulfilled because I was only doing the tasks of marketing. I wasn't able to tie it to one of the most important aspects, which was understanding what my why was. And we're going to get into that later in this webinar about how important understanding what your why is so important to the work that we do. And so for me, I had the moment of completely breaking down, asking myself, what am I doing with my life? I have 2 degrees in marketing. Did I just waste all of that? And the the good news is that no, I didn't. I was able to learn how to continue to use my marketing skill set. However, though, I realized what was so important and why I was put on this earth was to help really create space for individuals to be able to truly live in their potential and develop the businesses that they want to be able to develop for themselves, and to be of service to the different people that they are called to be in service of. And so that is why I became a coach myself as well, and have been able to combine now the coaching skills with the marketing skills, to be able to support individuals like yourself, in being able to really live your dreams and really be able to live from that place of passion. That I know that's why you're watching this webinar, is because you have a story to tell and you have knowledge to be able to share, and you want to be able to know, how do I do that? I have so much to give. I feel it. I have a ton. You feel like probably you have a ton of content, but what do you do with it all? And so that's why we're here, and we want to be able to support you in that journey. So Johnny,
Jen, I want to just make a point to acknowledge you, because not only did you become a coach, your coaching program ended up that you did collaborated with somebody on, with your business partner, that ended up being adopted as the official coaching program at Florida State University. And so that's amazing, and just kudos to you all for developing that. And I certainly understand about the power of coaching. My tagline is Born to Coach. I started when I was 15 years old, coaching a little 10 and under basketball team. And I tell people, look, I no longer coach basketball. I coach entrepreneurs, but I just sort of, I keep coaching, but I ride a different vehicle. And one of my things I've always said too, Jen, and it's really interesting how similar our wording is, that I'm really just a mirror for what people already know. And that by that mirror, it opens up a space for them to step into who they really are. So I think we share some similarities in what we're trying to do. And so anyway, folks, we're really excited about being here with you tonight. And we want to just get right down now, though, to the 4 key shifts that we feel like are extremely important that you look at in order to do what you love doing. And I have to tell you, the why that Jen and I have in terms of what we're doing here is because we're not free until we help you get your epic message out into the world. That's what drives us, because we know you have so much to offer, and we see people all the time. I see coaches and entrepreneurs, and they're just like, they're looking for their next client, Jen. They're looking for their next big deal, and they keep having to do all this one-on-one, and that's not leveraged income. And when you develop a really good course, then you can leverage that, and that you leverage into income. Well, the bottom line is you make an impact and you make an income. Now, that's pretty exciting, don't you think, Jen?
Absolutely. And, that's what it's all about. And I thank you for that shout out about the coaching model. We had published a coaching model that Florida State University now uses. And, that's something that I will say that, it's interesting as you start to discover your passion, you start to unleash your passion. It's amazing what will come out of you, because you are finally really directed towards creating things that you are just feeling called to be able to create and be able to offer, and people really will receive it because you're doing what you're meant to do. And Daddy, I just kind of want to flip it back to you. Your business was Business of the Year, so tell us a little bit about that and why that was such a significant aspect for you and in this journey.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. When I left coaching, I actually was I had this business called You Name It One Stop Service. And I did anything and everything as long as it was legal. I drove little old ladies to the malls. I cleaned houses. And I said, it didn't matter if I started at the toilet or, wherever, or in the kitchen first, as long as I did a good job. But really it was about, I don't know, just finding my way. And so I did become an entrepreneur, and my business became Small Business of the Year for the Lexington Chamber of Commerce, and also Small Business of the Year in the ASI industry, which is Advertising Specialty Institute, and that was in the United States. So it's, it's really exciting for me because I'm heading back to Lexington here to speak real soon, to Leadership Lexington, and also to their Emerge conference, which is their conference for young entrepreneurs. So it all comes full circle. But I can tell you, Jen, as much as I learned putting all those businesses together, I probably learned twice as much during all my failures, I think, as I was heading and sort of, I don't know, making my way through this online marketing world to finally realize that, wow, with all the skills I had put together and being known as the Google Hangout Maven and learning systems and technology, that I really had an opportunity to help other people now, because a lot of people still don't understand, how do I get my platform? How do I really get this out there? So let's just go right now, Jen, I'm going to kind of go over here to a PowerPoint and do a screen share. So hang on just a moment. And it's probably going to go to infinity for a second. I'm going to just sort of put some things down there. Can you?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put this into full screen here mode so that you can see it. Let me know. Can you see that okay, Jen?
Yes, we can.
Well, what we like to ask you all, is it possible for one epic idea, to really change the world? I mean, when you look at, is that actually possible? Well, we believe that it is. And the way that it's going to happen, we believe, is through training to transform the movement. That's what we're doing. It's about the movement. And in the movement, each of you can be the change. Now, that's what's so exciting. So you see, the reason I'm bringing this up is because training to transform the movement is about all of us. It's not about Jen or myself. We are the facilitators. We are your guides. We are your mentors. We are your coaches through this process. But guess what? We're going to learn just as much from you. And that's the exciting part. So when we say dare to take your epic journey, become an educator entrepreneur, we are calling you to say, come forth, dare to do this, but we're all in it together. So I think that's pretty exciting. I don't know about you, Jen, but yeah,
it's all about creating the space, and that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So you can kind of see where this comes back together, where Jen was talking about the space, and I was talking about opening up a space into which you can step. This is what Dare to Take Your Epic Journey is about. Now, all of those who signed up for this webinar, and you did or you wouldn't be on here, be sure that you have confirmed your email, because that's where you're going to get the link to download the summary, the book summary, okay? And we want to encourage you to be the M&Ms. Now, I always kind of love little sayings that I can put out there, but that's about you who are the Mavericks and the Mavens, because seriously, you are going to empower the next generation of online marketing, and you're going to globally impact everything that's going on over the next few years. So we just, like I said, we're here to support you in any way that we can. So what we want to do tonight is we want to look at 4 key shifts, okay? And offering epic solutions for your problems and challenges as you create your dream online course. And, and actually overcome your mindset to create mind shifts. You're going to hear us talk about that a lot. Now, you hear a lot of the big people still talking about mindsets. But for me, Jen, the reason I keep it to mind shifts is because the word set means just that, almost unchangeable. So sometimes somebody can have a positive mindset, but sometimes it doesn't serve them, because in some situations they need to see what's coming through the door, and it makes them miss that. So shift sounds like something that's happening constantly, but then it gets into, okay, how and where do I begin? And so often people go, how and where do I begin with this online course? I feel like I'm going in circles. So we're going to go over these 4 key shifts with you, okay? Now, shift number 1. Shift number 1 really is about overcoming overwhelm. Now, there's a reason we shared our stories with you, because we don't want you to think that we're sitting there thinking, oh, you're overwhelmed. We're not. we have been so overwhelmed, like we said, we couldn't hardly stand it. But one of the things I found, Jen, and I want you to give a comment on this, is I found that just taking minor, small steps, I call it the 1% gains, can really keep us moving. And if I just remember that, just try to create 1% improvement tomorrow. Well, if I do that every single day of the year, I know I'm going to get somewhere, because when we do this, you will have tapped into the epic power of the 1%. So how does that impact you, Jen?
Oh my gosh, this is everything that I believe in. Though how I have termed it before, in some of my coaching communities is micro movement.
Uh-huh.
That is how we get things done, is one small step at a time. And whenever you're feeling overwhelmed, you just keep bringing it down to, okay, well, what's something smaller that I can do? What's something smaller that I can do? Until all of a sudden it's like, well, I know I can do that. I can send one email. I can do that. That's what it's about, is just consistent movement forward, no matter how small it might seem. You just need to know that as you take that small movement forward, you're moving towards the bigger vision, and you're allowing the bigger vision to unfold, because you're making that 1% forward every time.
Well, Jen, it reminds me of when the man landed on the moon. I don't think you were even alive then, but certainly I was in Brazil actually at the time. I was a junior in high school. And, when the saying was, one small step and one, was it big step for mankind? I mean, the enormous impact of that tiny step on the moon and how it impacted mankind. So many of what we learned came out of that landing on the moon, experiments and so forth. So, it really is powerful. And it makes me think about this. And James Clear is a great coach. And this is an image that he shared. And he even said that the inspiration for the image came from a graphic in The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, which all goes to show that all we really do is build on what other people have done. I mean, when we sometimes think, oh, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, I always laugh when people say that and say, I think you forget that somebody made the boots and somebody made the straps. None of us do it on our own. So, he's acknowledging here where this came from for his inspiration. But what I think is interesting that he did, because Jeff kind of looks more at the 1% improvement. And James started saying, well, if that's the same for improvement, it probably impacts in decline the same way. So he then went to show, wow, just simple disciplines, can create the upswing, okay? And then on the other hand, simple errors in judgment can, over the lifetime, do just the opposite. Does that make sense, Jen?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think that's just really interesting to look at whether you use that 1% for simple disciplines to help yourself, or whether you have it go the other way. It can impact you on the whole. So here's what we want to bring you all into, and that is that the way we're going to help you overcome overwhelm is with our epic 90-day multiplier, our top strategy framework. And what that means is we set the course and encourage you to set your courses up in 90-day increments, so that you are doing your courses, like 4 times a year, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. Okay. And that multiplier is that you're doing it over and over again, because when you do that and you put those back to back, then you have a chance to have an epic year. But within that 90-day framework, you have to have a way of really not just setting goals, but achieving goals, okay? And what we do is we call this our top strategy framework. T stands for target, O stands for the outcome strategies, and P is the process. So the bottom line is, you first of all have to know what your target is. Now, you're going to see in a minute when we show you an image that the bullseye in that target is your epic niche. When you start thinking about, oh, I want to, offer something to this market. Well, market is usually too broad. And then somebody says, well, I'll niche it down, and they get a niche. But I'm going to tell you, the epic niche is really the bullseye. That's what helps you create the specific target That's what helps you win big and win fast. And it puts it in the ultimate believability factor, because when you do that, you take on the mind shift of believability. And when you do that, others believe too. So in the epic outcome strategies, you have to choose your strategies, and you have to highlight, your performance indicators. And we get all into this, but then you execute and you measure your results. An example is, for instance, I will increase the number of epic discovery call sessions I make to potential clients for my course from 0 to 6, so to speak. And then you give it a date, and we put the date 2 weeks out. So what we try to do is have you create 2-week goal achievements, okay, outcome strategies. And then you look at your process, okay? Well, you got to structure your day and your process so that that you get progress ongoing in your business with the 1%, and applying it in 2-week increments over the 90-day period. So does that make sense what we're saying here, Jen, and what input do you have?
Absolutely. I think that this is such a key aspect, and the one word that I would use for this top strategy framework is the word clarity. It's all about finding clarity of your target, the outcomes that you're trying to achieve, and then clarity to the process that's going to help you achieve that outcome. And that's what it's all about. Without that clarity, it's like you can do all the action steps, but not get the results that you're actually looking for. So this is a great framework to really be able to discover what that clarity is, so that you are really targeting in and seeing the results that you really want to be able to see. I always like to say with marketing, it's about figuring out who's the one person that you're talking to. When you figure that out, it makes it so much easier to be able to develop your messaging in a way that makes it very easy for your market that you're serving, for them to be able to receive the message that you are offering. It just makes the process so much smoother. And again, it comes down to that word clarity. And so that's what this particular shift is all about.
Absolutely, Jen. And that clarity is what creates the momentum, because otherwise we're just sitting there doing what I call shooting busy bullets. It's kind of like, you just got a bunch of stuff in your gun and you're just going to go out there and shoot something anyway. You're going to, being busy is not creating, it might feel like you're doing something, but deep inside that you're not really creating anything with just your busyness. So it's really important that you get that clarity. So let's look at shift number 2. And shift number 2 is know your why combined with know your target. And this is an image that I created that I think is, sort of like, wow. I mean, when you look at this, it's an overlay of the Golden Circle by Simon Sinek. Yeah, I always want to say Sinek, Simon Sinek. And if you've never heard his TED Talks, you've got to. We've got them in our course where we give links to them, but go out there and Google that, because he's amazing. Because that why is the motivation, and that is in the middle. And your how is your process, and you see that in the goal there, circle. And then the outer circle, your what is your product. So in this overlay, you see that the market is on the outside. Your niche gets a little bit closer, but your epic niche is, boom, you have the bullseye. So here's the thing. When you really understand your why and your motivation, then it's much easier to create your epic niche and vice versa, okay? So they really kind of feed one another. Jen, I know that you really love Simon's work. Give us a little feedback here.
Absolutely. So this is definitely something that was a big aha moment for me, a huge shift when I had seen Simon Sinek's Golden Circle for the first time. And in very quickly, the one of the points that I will bring forward in this particular webinar is understanding that a lot of businesses and a lot of people out there who are doing coursework, they know what they're doing and they know how they're doing it. but the why they're doing it can get a little fuzzy. And what Simon has been able to really do a lot of research on and be able to explain is that when it comes to people becoming customers or people becoming clients or members of a movement, they're not interested in the what. They're not interested in what you do. They're much more interested in why you do it. And that is because of the human to human connection. And it's about a value system being able to be aligned with another human's value system. And so this is why understanding why you want to create your course and why you want to be able to offer the course is so important to the success of the course. Because at the end of the day, that why is the reason why other people are going to connect with you. So, in the beginning of this webinar, we really talked about the fact that where Dottie and I really became very aware that we wanted to work together was when we realized we both had passion for entrepreneurship and supporting entrepreneurs and really reaching their potential, because the why is really understanding that we believe that the changes that we want to see in the world are going to come from entrepreneurs, are going to come from that entrepreneurial heart. And if we can provide space for people to be able to really be able to become educator entrepreneurs, because education is really where all change really stems from. That's a motivating factor. That's why we're putting all of this work out into the world and why we're creating this space for people. And so, if you share in that why, if you feel that you are an educator entrepreneur, then this is definitely the community for you. And so this is where, in this particular shift, in the course, we go even deeper into helping support you in getting further and further clarity in what your why is, and then being able to communicate that why.
Absolutely, Jen. Great input. And it just reminds me again why the movement training to transform. The movement is the real key, and why each of you who are watching this webinar, you're the ones who are going to make the change and really change things for the future. So that's really exciting for us to be in this together in this work.
And I'm so glad that you bring that up, Dottie, is that this is really about creating a movement together. And that another why is that we want to support a community of educatorpreneurs out there. And in doing that work of creating this movement of really being able to develop space for people to really be able to share their expertise out to the world, and to be able to be of service. So that it's just such an honor to be part of that movement.
Yes, Jen, I couldn't agree more. And that's the thing. I mean, we're not just wanting to help you create a course. We want to help you create course after course, and for you to be a part of that community where we're helping one another, because there's so much value to be gained from what we learn from one another. And so, this brings us to shift number 3, and that's to be able to answer the number one question that stumps 99% of the entrepreneurs. And that, quite frankly, is knowing your EFQ. All right. That's your epic freedom quotient. You might say epic freedom quotient. And this is how we put it. We go, yeah, if you don't know how many people you need to take your course, how many times a year, in order to create the financial freedom that you want, you don't have a target you're hitting at. And, it's kind of like I tell people, look, I'm not going to the archery range, if there's no targets. I feel like I'll get shot, I mean, the idea is for you to really tap into knowing how many clients will I need. And so when you're able to do that, you're able to hit the bullseye. Now, I'm going to go off this PowerPoint for just a moment, Jen, because I want to go over and I want to go screen share somewhere else now. Let me just see if I can get this up. Go back over here. Okay, here's the one I wanted to get to. And the reason I want to share this is because we've actually created a calculator, okay? We call it our Epic Freedom Calculator, so that you can actually calculate your freedom quotient. So when you come in here, and by the way, you will get a link in your email so that you can have this tool free so that you can absolutely figure out what is my Epic Freedom Quotient. Because here's the thing. It says, which of the epic revenue goals below represents your epic dream? Now, you can select whatever you want, okay? But if you want to listen to this video first, it's short, 1:30 seconds, then, you know, it's going to give you some ideas to think about it. But you're going to be able to select whatever you want for your epic freedom goal. Now, you know, that's up to you. Some people will have 100,000, 250,000, 500,000, a million. You might say, well, mine's not that high. Well, once you go through this, you can divide it by 2 or divide it by 4 or whatever. And then you've got what's a fair price to charge, because many times people don't know what I want to charge for this. So we give you a little video that'll help you think about that, okay? And so you might put any of these figures in there. And then what number of times will you need to launch your course each year? Well, we suggest that you launch it as often as possible, really, because you learn something in the beginning when you do that. You learn how to tweak it, make it better. So you can choose, you know, once a year, twice a year, 3 or 4 times a year. And then all you do after you put that in, you click there and discover your epic freedom quotient, okay? Now, this is extremely important, because when you have that number, you will have answered that #1 question that stumps 99% of the entrepreneurs. They get a blank look on their face. I mean, Jen, you know, before this was introduced, you didn't know that, right? Wow, what would it take for me to reach my financial goals? And how does that make you feel when you know that number?
Well, the thing is that happens is you go from feeling really overwhelmed to all of a sudden realizing it's not nearly as many students as you think. And then all of a sudden it shifts to feeling very empowered because you realize, oh, I could get 12. I feel like I could get 12 people interested in this course. I could do that. You just realize it's not as many as you think. And so that, you know, for me, it was a very empowering experience. I'm so glad, Dottie, that you really pushed to make this happen, because with that math, you know, it just is great to just know, and again brings that clarity of what the reality is of being able to find the success that we're looking for.
Yeah, so you get the clarity, you get the believability, and when you believe, others believe. You know, there's nothing people can sniff out any quicker than when you don't believe what you're doing, or you don't have a strong why, and they're not even sure why you're doing what you're doing, you know. So you don't have to put it on other people. What you have to do is just dig deep yourself and find out what I really want to do. And so, you know, if the numbers come up higher, you can say, well, wow, that's doable, but I'd be happy even with this much, you know. And so you go back and you really look at that. And so let me just go back over here. I think we get right down here. Get back to where we were at. Were we at number 2, number 3? Oh, we were at number 3, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of go back through there. But I wanted to come off so that you could see that, okay? Because I think it's really important that you be able to answer this #1 question, your EFQ. I cannot stress enough how much that's going to help you step into the, you know, talk about stepping into a space, Jen. That helps. I think that helps people step into a space. Oh my gosh, I can do this. And let's say it's 12 clients or it's 20 clients or whatever. Then what you need to know is that about 20 to 25% of those clients are going to go with you to your next level offer, which is going to be 3 to 4 times what you charge for your course. And so you're going to be able to take the same group of people and really the same content rather than running all over the place, developing content after content after content and never having a course, and really getting clear with this. And so this is what's so exciting is that we can hit that target. And then what happens is you have a chance to make a difference because you've calculated your epic freedom, because then you can begin to listen and figure out what do people really want. And that brings us into our shift number 4. Okay. And that is give them what they want versus what you want to offer. Well, you may be thinking, well, what do you mean? Well, right here, you can plug into really a global business empire that you create if you really can nail it down. And so let me just go to the infamous Tony Robbins, who said, let your prospect determine your presentation. What does he mean by that? Well, he means pay attention to the other person. Okay. So if you're dreaming up a course and you don't even know if anybody wants it, but you're passionate about it, you need to find out, okay, I'm passionate, but the people want it. So here's what we're going to suggest. Okay. We're going to say, get aligned with your passion and give them the course they want versus the course you want to offer. Well, you may be thinking, okay, how am I going to do that? Well, here's the good news. We told you that you're going to get Epic Compass. And that's really about making an impact, making an income with your online course. It's going to help you identify what we call your PPC. And that is your passionate, profitable course concept or idea. And in this Epic Compass, it points you towards that. I mean, we really drill down on this, don't we, Jen, in this document, this ebook, so to speak, and that people are going to, again, make sure that you confirmed your email, because you're going to get the link to this in that email so that you can go through this Epic Compass and you can really use that to point you in the direction so that you are, in the end result, you offer the course that your people want. So chime in here, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I would say is what I love about the Epic Compass is that it uses the concepts of market research with a new twist of being able to design an actual course. And so if you think about it, the most successful businesses out there are the ones who solve a problem for individuals. And what that is that what they do is they go and they interview the different individuals to figure out, what is it that they want. And then what happens is they develop a product to be able to solve that particular issue or problem for them, and they become extremely successful. Now, how do you do that for a course? Well, what it is exactly what is said here, which is aligning with your passion and then being able to interview the people that you feel would be interested in staying in aligned with your passion, and then starting to understand what their needs are. And so instead of when we say versus the course you want to offer, so another way of understanding that is, instead of creating the course in a silo where you try to create all the content and create all the coursework before bringing it out to people, what we're going to be able to do is be able to support you in being able to get out there and get feedback, so that you are able to really provide the best space and the best course for the people that you're interested in serving. And so that's what this Epic Compass is all about. And honestly, it's one of the best pieces I've seen out there. And I have to give Coach B extreme support in this, because she really was the mastermind behind putting it together. And in my background, and then coming on board and being able to contribute, I have to say that I was so excited about it, because I was like, I can't wait to use this for our course and for what we're doing. And that's what, we did. And, so it's what I love is being able to utilize the tools that we are providing to be able to ensure that they work and support you in being able to create the course that you want to put out there. So yeah, so this is all about being able to understand your future students and being able to design according to their needs.
Yeah, that's great, Jen, and thank you for that. You know, the whole thing that we want to do is we want to give you multiple strategies for trying to figure out not only your why, but the course that you're going to offer. Because honestly, if you move forward without knowing those two and just start creating, it's going to be one of the biggest mistakes you make. I mean, and honestly, we all make mistakes. We miss the mark, and we have to detour and go back. And you can do it that way. But I promise you, if you listen to us on this, you're going to go, "Oh my gosh, that was the best tip I ever got." Because putting your time in on this front end is going to be just so helpful. And one of the things that we do is we really have you out there working to create your cash in the beginning as you are creating your course. We kind of reverse engineer things. We don't say, because, you know, everybody we know has created all this content. The problem is they're not getting out there and making an income from it. Okay. And you can't really make an impact when you're not really out there getting it out there to people. So, talking about reverse engineering, we've got a bonus shift for you. And that is helping you discover how to speak to ideal clients in their epic language in under 90 seconds. Now, imagine what Tony Robbins said about, you know, let your prospect determine your presentation. Well, imagine if you had a tool that would enable you to sort of like know the personality code of the client you were going to call that was a potential person for your course. And that by knowing their personality code, you knew how to present to them in their epic language. Well, here's what we've got here. And this is reverse engineered. You're going to be able to discover your own epic code, number one. But when people take our course, we also give them the actual tool to use so that they can discover the epic code of other people. And this is really based on what we call our VRB, our Values Relationship Builder. So people online literally drop and drag those value cards into the positions. And when they do, they're able to go over. And in fact, I'm just going to go off this real quick, Jen, and I'm going to go back to where we were online. Okay. But I'm going to go right here and actually show people this is what you're going to be able to get. Not only are you going to be able to go through and go, let me look at these. Oh, I think I want to move this one over here. I think I want to move that there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to submit that, give your information. And I'm not going to go through that totally now because, you know, just because of the time factor for the webinar. But you are going to get this. You're going to submit that, and you're going to get a detailed report. That's a $75 value that you personally get. And then when you take our course, you actually get your own link where you can code other people. That's pretty powerful, don't you think, Jen?
Absolutely. I absolutely love utilizing this tool. I feel it's just such a great way of being able to connect with other people. And so Coach B always uses the analogy of saying that it's understanding somebody else's language. So if you're going to be presenting to somebody and you speak English but they speak French, you know, how effective are you going to be? But if you know that they speak French and you present to them first in French, amazing. Imagine just how more impactful you're going to be being able to communicate with them. And so I use this all the time. I think that it's one of the best tools going. I love assessment tools just because it helps raise awareness and helps us be that much more effective in our communication with others. And then also to being able to know what motivates us and what motivates other people as well. And so this is just, I think it's one of the best bonuses out there going right now. It does have quite a value to it. So I was very excited when Coach B wanted to use this, offer this as a bonus out to you all today.
And I think, I tell people, look, it is exciting to know what makes us tick. We're all curious about ourselves. But I'll tell you what, the most important person is the one you're talking to, the one you're presenting to. And when you can know that, it makes all the difference in the world. So again, as we come to the end here, we just want to say thank you for being here on this webinar. We're going to be going through some questions in a minute that people have, for us. So I know that we also want to, really give you all a great deal to take a look at. But let me just do this. I'm going to kind of come off screen share right now. Jen, just for a second here.
Okay.
I'm going to stop that screen share for a moment. And I want to be able to go and look at a few questions that we might have because, it's really important. People always, are asking things. And one of the ones is, do I need to have my course completed to benefit from the Dare to Take Your Epic Journey Fast Launch course? The answer is no. I mean, the strategies you'll implement can be used to drive traffic to any online offer, including, lead generation offers like ebooks, your webinars, your coaching events. And honestly, in our courses, I would say over 90% of the people are creating their course in that moment, okay, as they are creating their launch. And we say one supports the other, okay? By that, we mean that we're not going to have you just create all your content, wonder if it's going to fly. We're having you do these things simultaneously. And that's why we say this is a reverse engineered process. And even if you've already created a course, but you're not really getting the results you want, then this could be for you. So Jen, what kind of questions do you see?
Yeah, so one that's coming up is that the person is very interested in becoming an educator, entrepreneur. However, though, they don't know where to start focusing on their topics because they're passionate about a lot of different topics. So the question is, can I take this course even if I don't know my topic yet? And the answer is a resounding yes, absolutely. That's actually what, you can either already know your topic or not know your topic, no matter what, because this course isn't so much about, all of the content creation as it is about getting the clarity that we were talking about. So this course will be very helpful for you because ultimately what will end up happening is you'll have the opportunity to be talking to your target market and really figure out who your target market is, and then what is going to be the best way of serving them. And so that will help drive what topic will be the best topic to start with as your intro course, if that makes sense. So the answer is yes, you don't have to know your topic right off the bat.
Yeah, and I think that they'll find that is an evolution that happens. Again, if we go back to looking at the overlay of the golden circle with what I shared about your market, your niche, your epic niche, and then the topics and all that come out of that. I mean, this is exactly why you need to be in here if you don't know. If you do know some of that, you're just going to kind of get elevated to a whole nother level. So great, Jen. Got some great questions. I'm going to look at a few more here. Here's one people always ask. Will you be showing me the exact tools I need to launch? Absolutely. I mean, this is really key. This is why I kept saying to people, oh, you've got to get your message out there. You're a maven, you're a maverick. You have a message to share and a skill to impart. I've been saying that for 4 years. But I finally realized that people just don't know how, because when I asked them, Jen, well, you got all this content and you write and you coach and you spend a lot of time coaching one-on-one. Why aren't you doing it? And they simply go, I don't know how. And they're scared of technology, and they're scared about, they're just, let's face it, if they knew how, they'd be doing it, right? So, you know, the thing is, yes, we're going to recommend tools. We're gonna look at where you're at financially, where you're at in your process. We're gonna recommend tools. Some are that are free resources, from, you know, webinar sources to do-it-yourself web page design, or some people who have the funds. They say, look, I want this created for me, done for me. Well, that's fine, you know, if you've got the funds to do that. And but we also understand that you need to create income before you invest a lot. That's why some of the things you're going to see us give you while you're in the course is going to blow your mind, because we really want to give you the best opportunity to succeed. So anyway, that's another one that was asked here. Jen, you got anything else here?
Yeah, there's one more, and I just wanted to add to that. If anything, please know that that was where I was at. I was not somebody who was going out to figure out, okay, what are the tools that I need to be able to accomplish actually running an online course. And it was a huge blessing that Coach B came into my life, because she really had done so much research and had tested out so many different things. And so with our powers combined, we're able to really create this course. And what I will say is, if you are feeling intimidated by what tools to use, I just want to put your fears at ease, because I have been there and I have felt it. And as soon as we started sitting down and going through all the different tools that are out there, we were able to really figure out how to make it very understandable, very digestible, and very easy to execute. So that's something that I really wanted to put out there, because I completely understand that struggle. And so the next question that's coming up is, people are asking, how much do I charge for my course? That is something that I think it's a huge question. Actually, we do get asked that quite a bit, and there is different. What we have seen is there's different comfort zones of where people are ready to really figure out what they are ready to charge. What we are happy to tell you is that we are going to challenge you to really be able to see just how valuable you really are. And so the odds are we are going to be able to provide space for you to explore where you are in this present moment of thinking of what you want to charge for your course, and then be able to provide you space to be able to really figure out how much value you are actually offering. And in conversations with your target market, you'll be able to see you're probably going to be able to charge much more than you can even imagine. And what we want you to know is that that's coming from a place of living in abundance. And it's something, it's really an empowering experience to be able to do that. So everybody's different, every course is different, but I'm very excited to be able to offer that, and I know that Coach B is as well, that space for you to be able to really see where you can expand more than you can even imagine at this present moment, more than likely.
Yeah, that's so true, Jen. And you know, and that's what the Epic Freedom Calculator begins to have you just kind of think and contemplate on. And you know, a lot of people go through and they recalculate and calculate again and recalculate, and that's fine. You can go back through it as many times as you want. But it's just sort of like planting a seed for what you are ready to step into, okay? And then in the course, we start working with you on your mind shift that is going to get you beyond maybe what you thought was possible. But until you really believe that what you're charging is worth every penny and more, then that's the thing that inhibits. It's not what could be possible, it's what you believe to be possible. So that's great, Jen. And let me just check here and see. I know we had just a few more. Oh, one of them is, can I go through the course at my own pace, you know? Because yes, you can. We always know that not everybody can be there doing everything at the same time. That there's no doubt about that. But we will be delivering, you know, short video messages each week, and also what we call live hangouts, and those are recorded. And then there's assignments each week. So you can go through those, you know, whatever works for you, because we just know everybody's time frame is different. And we have it set up so that people can interact with one another, get to know one another in little discussion vignettes, so to speak, at the end of each activity. So we want you to know that that's possible. You know, Jen, is there anything else that you kind of want to cover?
Well, actually, it's really funny. The next question that was kind of coming up was, how much do we charge for our course? So I think that's a perfect segue to go back into everything that they get to receive for this course.
Okay, let me just do this then. Hang on one second. I'm going to screen share so I can get us back over here. Hang on one moment. I'll get that taken care of. Screen share here. Okay. It's going to go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's get down here and get back on target. Okay. So what we do is, you know, it's called Epic Academy, Dare to Take Your Epic Journey, you know. And it's about becoming the educator entrepreneur. We consider it our fast launch course, but it's really an experiential playground for innovating educator entrepreneurs. We want you to have fun. Okay. We want you to have fun with me. That's, and we want you to have fun with Coach B and Coach J. Just have a good time. But when you're doing that, then we get into the price of what we're going to offer you here. Okay. But we want you to know what you're going to receive, because honestly, we feel like the value that you're going to get so far outweighs what you're going to pay for our course that we're just excited to offer it to you for this price, to be quite honest. So first of all, everybody who comes in is going to get $1,000 personal consult with Coach B and Coach J. You know, we're really going to drill down with each of you and give you a chance to give us feedback and us get to know you. That's number one. You're also going to get what we call our 30-day Epic Quick Cash to Success Blueprint. This supports our motto of win big, win fast. That's a $500 value. I mean, you know, the information in that gives you specifically how to set up your discovery call sessions, your Epic discovery call sessions, you know, how to speak to your ideal clients. I mean, this is going to be literally, this is a blueprint for how to start bringing in the cash as you are launching your course. And that's huge, because when you have that cash, then you can more quickly get the tools that are going to enhance what you're doing. So then next, we're going to give you a 90-day subscription to Epic Tap. And Epic Tap, you know, that's your total assessment personality profile. In other words, what you saw during this webinar, you will have that link, okay? And then, you know, that's a monthly subscription, because you're going to have it for 90 days at no charge to yourself, okay? And the great thing is you can hook that up to your Aweber account and run emails off of it yourself. It's just amazing. And then you're also going to get a 90-day trial for an interactive video platform. Now, one of the things that we keep talking about that our book is about, we call them e-vid books, okay? Which is a combination of an e-book and a video book. Because just so happens that Jen is the owner of a tremendous video platform that has interactive buttons that are really going to change the way people do things in the video marketing. And video is going to be 70 to 80% over the next few years. Jen, you want to say anything to that? That's a $300 value.
Sure. This is a project that I have become very passionate about over the past couple years. I have two incredible business partners that I have been working very closely with, along with another partner who's the actual developer of the platform. And we saw a need for more interactive video And for it to be to make it very easy to be able to create those interactive videos for marketing purposes, and then now also too for making it easy for students to interact with you as the course leader within your courses. And so it's a system we're really proud of, and very, very easy to use. We've made it as user-friendly as possible. I'm very excited to be able to have this be part of the Training to Transform movement.
Yeah, and the exciting part is as you go through our course, you're going to see that in the videos that are in the course, right there in the moment when you have a question about something you saw, you can click on email, and right inside there you can email us and send your message. So these are the kind of call to action buttons that this video platform has, and it's just amazing. So we're really excited about that. So here's the price, $997. I mean, when you consider what you're going to get, the feedback from us, a special Facebook group, the forum that everybody's going to have for interacting with one another. I mean, absolutely. And you know what, Jen? I'm going to throw in something more here. I'm going to actually throw in 2 months at no cost on our platform. What do you think about that? Is that cool?
Ooh, that is awesome. What an amazing idea. Okay, so that is something that is tremendous value. So if you were a person who was relating to me earlier in the webinar when I was saying about not knowing what tools to use, oh my goodness, this platform to be able to host your course on, to have students be able to easily interact with you, for you to be able to organize your content. Oh my gosh, it's one of the best platforms I've seen. And yes, that is a huge bonus. Awesome, 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 Coach B. I'm so in for that.
I don't know. I was just sitting here and thinking, what more can we do for everybody?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great bonus. I can't believe we didn't think about it sooner. That is such a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, that I can't even begin to tell you how huge that is, and that's our own Training to Transform platform. So really excited about that. So $997. I know that sometimes you don't have that, you don't have it on a card. So we wanted to bring up something else. We're going to offer it 3 payments of $397 each. Okay, so that is a little bit more than a total of $997. If you want to get the $997, that's great. Or do the 3 payments of $397. So we want to also tell you how you're going to get there to be able to purchase this. Okay. Well, if you have confirmed your email, you're going to get this in the email, so that you can go to it. But if you just can't wait, then you can go to 247epicconnections.com/EEC. And of course, that is for our Educator Entrepreneur course, EEC. And anything you want to end up with, Jen, as we finish here? You think, I mean, honestly, we're giving great value here. We're so excited that we're able to offer this to you for $997. I can tell you it's probably not always going to be $997, but it is now, and we're happy to offer that to you. So I would just say, if you're interested in really moving forward, now's the time. We want to work with you.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how excited Coach B and myself are for being able to support you in this work and in this movement. If you've been with us through this, we know that you have this heart of wanting to be able to share your knowledge that you have gathered over the years. You are an expert in whatever it is that you feel called to be able to create your course in. And this is what it's all about, because we know that you're the expert in your content, and where you're looking for support is being able to figure out the best way to execute that information into an actual online course. And that's what this is all about. We give you the how, we give you the what, and we give you the why.
Hey, that's great. I'm going to pop back over here real quick just so I can say goodbye to everybody. Now, I hope that we were able, you know what? I'm afraid that they couldn't see that last part because I had it keyed on you, Jen. That's why it did not go to infinity. So I'm going to scoot right back over here
Okay.
just so that everybody can see this, okay? Let's just go through those again. I wondered why I didn't see that, and I had it locked on you because you were speaking a while ago. So just to reiterate, $1,000 personal consult with us, the 30-day epic quick cash to success blueprint that we talked about supports our motto of win big, win fast, our 90-day subscription to Epic Tap, total assessment personality profile, so you can, you know, get the epic code of other people. And who doesn't like to be epic, right? Oh man, you know, when somebody says you are epic, that just it makes me smile. And the 90-day trial for the interactive video platform, amazing, Jen, thank you so much. So $9.97 or 3 payments of $3.97. And here's the link if you just can't wait any longer. Go there, get it now. And I got to say, okay, so now that they've been able to see that, I am going to come off this. Again, that's 247epicconnections.com/EEC. And look for that in your email or go there now. We really want to, you know, support you all with our course. So I'm going to stop this, and now it's
and then there's the extra bonus that you threw in there, Coach B, of 2 months with one heck of an amazing tool, which is the actual course platform itself. So that's something where you'll get to actually experience it as you are working with us in our course. So you'll become very familiar with it and then be able to execute it for your own course. So that is going to be great.
Yeah, and talk about user-friendly. It's the kind of platform that really makes it so easy for people, you know. So that's a great bonus. Now, you know, in what we've done just now, we have given you a value of well over $2,000, okay? And the course is $997 or 3 payments of $397. So we just want to thank you all for being on here and, you know, staying with us and looking at training to transform the movement, because this is what we're passionate about. We are passionate about helping you get out in the world with your message and with your expertise and helping you market that, know how to market it, help you know how to define what course you should be offering, help you understand what target am I shooting at financially so that I can achieve this. How doable is this? All of these things that we talked about in the webinar, and even more than that, everybody just coming together in a movement. This movement is about you. It's not about Jen, and it's not about Coach B. It's about you, and it is about us, though, because we are in this movement with you. So we're really excited, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.